Rumi is said to be the most influential poet in the world, even though his poetry was written 800 years ago. So, and you can see why. I mean, here's a man who was born in Pakistan, had to move to Konya with his parents because of all kinds of wars and things going on. And so he's in Konya in present-day Turkey, and he's this scholar. He's this Islamic scholar who can quote everything. He's really got it down. And he meets Shams of Tabriz, this mystical man who comes in. And he takes Rumi's books and he throws them into the water. He says, you don't need that. All this stuff, all this mystical stuff, all this stuff, like we're now, Christians are preparing for Christmas and the coming of that Christ light. We're coming into the time of the solstice. It's getting to be it's darker and darker and darker, and hope the light comes back. We're waiting now, and soon Hanukkah will come, and we'll remember that the light prevails, and we'll be holding fast and doing all these different things that are going on in all different traditions. But do we have any of it in our hearts? Do we really internalize it? Do we really allow it to be made manifest in our lives? What do we do with the information? A lot of people, their biggest complaints is, you go to different house of worship on that day and everybody's nice, and as soon as they leave, they're beeping at each other in the car when they're driving out and yelling at each other in the parking lot because of the way people are driving. So we need to internalize it. So Rumi was standing there, and Shams was saying, it's nothing. Throw it away. You need to have it in your heart. This relationship with the divine needs to be in your heart. You need to be able to know it as the beloved. And so Rumi wrote poetry after poems and poems. But it wasn't until Shams took the book out of the water, because he saw how much it hurt Rumi to have his book get all his work and all soaking wet. In those days, that was a big deal to get your writing everything out. And it made it dried it up. Magic, right? We all want that miracle. Show me, walk on water, then I know it's real. But Rumi did something else. He looked into Shams's eyes and he knew, my beloved, you see what we talk about. Allah Akbar. The divine is great. It's great. La ilaha illallah. There is nothing but the oneness. We are all in this together. And this beloved, this energy, this light, this love, it holds us all together. So Rumi writes, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving. Keep coming back. Try again. So you didn't get it right in the parking lot. Come back inside. Come back inside and be giggly and happy and lovely and wonderful. Because we forget how to do that and how to be that. And we need to be that. He says ours is not a caravan of despair. Right? Come, even if you've broken your vows. Because we do it. I didn't get it right. And then we spend the rest of the day beating ourselves up because we didn't get it right. No, just come back. Over and over again. Keep coming back. And he says that in a lot of those words of wisdom that we have, and the different ways. Don't go away, come near. Don't be faithless, be faithful. Find the antidote in the venom. He doesn't promise all lollipops and roses, right? He tells us of the guest house and how we should be with the guest house. Every morning it comes. And what could come? A joy, a despair? Things come that we don't like, but come in, come on. We want to live a spiritual life. We come here at Gathering of Light and we learn spiritual tools for sacred living. What is sacred living? It is full living. It is embracing living. It is knowing the beloved, being in that, being able to take in all that is in life. I remember somebody was asking, I think it was Sadhguru, I'm not sure. He says, how can we be happy all the time? And Sadhguru says, why do you want to be happy all the time? Why limit your life to one emotion? He said, why? We are here to feel, to breathe, to expand. Rumi tells us that the wound is where the light comes in. When our hearts break, they can be expanded and opened more. That challenge. But in that challenge, not to forget that we are that drop that has the whole ocean in it. And the whole ocean of the divine is wooing us, wanting us to come back. Come back, come back. Come back. In another poem, he talks about that idea of the flute. We all know the flute is so haunting, right? We hear that from spiritual, it's a real spiritual sound, that haunting flute. And Rumi says, let us listen to the reed and the tale it tells, how it stings of separation. Ever since they cut me from the riverbed, my wail has caused men and women to weep. See? He saw it differently. As they cut that reed to make that flute, he wanted to be reconnected. So as it plays that music, it calls to each and every one of us to go to that place again that we know of wanting connection, that separation from the divine. It makes us weep. He says, I want a heart torn open with longing to share this pain of love. Whoever has parted from its source longs to return to that state. He says, come close, closer, even closer. How will this resistance last? You are me and I am you. What separates you from me? We're the light of God, God's mirror. So why do we struggle with ourselves? And with one another? Why does one light escape from one another? Come release yourself from this ego. Live in harmony with everyone. Be friendly with everyone. Alone, you are just one drop, one speck. Bonded and united with everyone, you are the ocean. The ocean is you. So these poems that he has, and it encouraged me. I've always said, sometimes you think of things and you ever look at something and say, that's so beautiful, and then you have this connection to it. You say, I can write. If you write that down, it's almost like a poem. Or even just, we were talking this morning about the power of journaling, just putting our thoughts down. Like Rumi's thoughts became these beautiful poems. But what if you wrote your own thoughts down? What if you journaled about? For this is supposed to be, for Christians, a time of Advent. This is a time of preparing yourself. How do you prepare yourself for the light to come back? You complain about the dark and how dark it gets? Because I hear that more than I hear anything positive. Oh, it's so dark. Why is it so dark? When is it going to be light? You are the light that's missing. Anytime there's darkness, there is a light in you that cannot die, that is needed in that situation. You're asked to be the light, to bring the light. I like this poem here. I'm sharing all this poetry, so I'm hoping that it will inspire you maybe to journal a little bit. Don't worry about, how it all sounds, because you're the only one reading it. Unless you're being that too harsh a critic, then, I'll ask you to have somebody else read it for you. He says, the prophets have wondered to themselves, how long should we keep pounding this cold iron? How long do we have to whisper into an empty cage? Every motion of created beings come from the Creator. The first soul pushes and your second soul responds, beginning. So don't stay timid. Load the ship and set out. No one knows for certain whether the vessel will sink or reach the harbor. Cautious people say, I'll do nothing until I can be sure. Merchants know better. If you do nothing, you lose. Don't be one of those merchants, though, who would risk the ocean, who won't risk the ocean. This is much more important than losing or making money. It's about your connection to God. You must set fire to have light. Trust means you're ready to risk what you already have. Think of the fear and hope about your livelihood. They make you go to work diligently every day. Now consider what the prophets have done. Abraham wore fire for an ankle. Moses spoke to the sea. David molded iron, and Solomon rode the wind. Work the invisible world at least as hard as you do the visible. Work the invisible world at least as hard as you do the visible. Be companions with the prophets, even though no one here will know that you are. Not even the helpers. You can't imagine what prophet will come when one of those generous ones invite you into his fire. Go quickly. Don't say, but will it burn me? Will it hurt? Go. So it's that fun way that the prophet, with a poem and, poetry and this idea of the divine being the beloved. It's just so beautiful. I'm hoping you're getting so much out of this and you take home today some really wonderful spiritual tools from RUMI. Think about it. Yesterday I was clever, so I wanted to change the world. Today I'm wise, so I'm changing myself. Just take that one for the week. You don't need to take any more. This is the beauty of this. And again, putting it into place. But one thing that I did find that I hadn't seen before was that RUMI wrote a poem about Christmas. See, in Konya, he was also RUMI, for those of you who don't know, was part of the whirling dervishes. So it was that idea of whirling. And when the dervishes, when they whirl, right, so usually they have the big white hats and the white outfits on and stuff, but, and they're usually men, but the women will have scarves, so they'll have much more fun with that and doing the scarves. So when you start out, there's one hand usually up and one hand down, so you are doing sort of like a Qigong movement, right, of heaven and earth.
Right hand up.
Yep.
The right hand is up and the left is down.
Yeah, it's my right hand.
That's right hand.
Okay. so anyway, and it's a movement where you're looking at your hand and seeing that line drawn up to the divine, right? So you're seeing that light drawn up, and then it's sort of like a push around on your feet, right? So you're kind of pushing around like this. So like a twirl like that, and you're watching and going like this, and you're going around. And when we were able to, when our visit to Konya, watch dervishes whirl, I think it was 3 hours straight. They did not stop whirling.
They didn't get dizzy?
They didn't get dizzy because you're not dizzy. You're in a, if you can visualize, it's like a white light tunnel. It becomes like this white light, and you become contained in it. So the whirling only holds the perimeter of the tunnel in creating that, and you have this experience of being like in that presence of the oneness. So you can see the benefits of doing these practices, where you can really make it all come alive for you. Maybe we'll try a little bit later on. Lori had brought in some scarves and stuff, so if anybody wants to play around. But I want to tell you this poem of Christmas by RUMI. Whatever faith you are, originally, I like to say my faith is love, so give me a tradition. Something about Christmas Eve, and there's a stillness at night. because where we live, a lot of people are very quiet that time of year, because we live in a predominantly Christian area. So it was always very still. There was something about that stillness and that quiet. We can go out and walk, and it's quiet. And as a kid growing up in the Bronx, to have a still night and quiet wasn't always like that. So it was very special to be in that stillness and that quiet. So RUMI writes, and he's talking about the early morning. There is a morning where presence comes over you, and you sing like a rooster in your earth-colored shape. Your heart hears, and no longer frantic, begins to dance. At that moment, soul reaches total emptiness. Your heart becomes merry, miraculously pregnant, and body, like a 2-day-old Jesus, says wisdom words. Now the heart turns to light, and the body picks up the tempo. Where Shams Tabriz walks, the footprints are musical notes, and holes you fall through into space. So it's that bringing it all back. And we're all on a pilgrimage, every one of us, as we do our life's work. And this, where he says, I am wind and you are fire, says, oh, you've gone on pilgrimage. Where are you? Where, oh, where? Here is the beloved. Oh, come now, come, oh, come. Your friend, he is your neighbor. He is next to your wall. You erring in the desert, what air of love is this? If you see the beloved's form without form, you are the house, the master. You are the Kaaba. You. Where is a bunch of roses if you would be in this garden? Where one soul pearly essence when you are the sea of God? That's true. And yet your troubles may turn to treasures rich. How sad that you yourself veil the treasure that is yours. So the pleading, the longing in RUMI, the call to all of us this day is to come back to the beloved. Internalize it into your very being and allow it to be expressed in the amazing, unique way that is you.